Network.
Welcome to the forecast. It is the two cast tonight. We got Dawk is in New York, and Wilkes is playing Mr. Dad or Mr. Mom right now. So we're gonna ride with the two of us, coming at you with another great episode. Man, we've been on a little bit of a hiatus. I think it's been the past 2 weeks we haven't done a show. One was the day after the award show, and the other one I think was Labor Day. But we back in the mix. Back on the scene. Hey, Trap, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to be.
Good. And so tonight, it's a new series that is out. This is right up our alley. Everything that we have done on the history of the forecast. There's a lot of check my mic there. There's a lot of common actors and a lot of things we've done. Apologize for the late start. We're normally pretty diligent at starting on time. A little late tonight, but really excited about this series. It's called Fight Night, Million Dollar Heist. We're gonna review episode 1. We're gonna do an episode each week. So stay tuned as we go through. I believe it's 8 episodes. They're releasing 3 at a time. The first one, as we kind of get into some initial thoughts. So you seeing Fight Night coming out. What was your initial thoughts? Were you thinking this is like right up our alley?
You know what? I didn't think. I'm really not the greatest Kevin Hart fan, so I was really teetering on watching it because I'm like, Kevin Hart. But I was pleasantly surprised. It is a very good program.
Yeah, and Kevin Hart did a good job in True Story. That was one that we reviewed as well. Different than what he does. It wasn't the I'm just gonna be funny, I'm gonna try my hardest to be funny. It wasn't one of those. And he actually did this. He actually did this one, and it was another similar type of role. He did have some comedy in it, but it was more of a I'm trying to make it in this game. I'm trying to make it a name for myself. I'm trying to create something kind of from nothing, but a lot of great actors, Taraji P. Henson, Kevin Hart, Samuel Jackson, Terrence Howard with the funniest Jane Fonda wig, whatever that is, man. As soon as I seen that, I was like, I'm definitely watching this, because this seems like a what was the name of that movie? Hustle and Flow type movie. That chick. Let's get to the chat real quick. Plays by CJ. Thank you for tuning in, man. Make sure to check out his channel, man. Coming with it whenever time he's going live. It's definitely worth watching. So tap in. Make sure to subscribe. Do not watch it at work. Do not turn the volume up at work. You will get fired. Okay, you will get a pink slip the next day, or maybe that day. But CJ doing his thing, man. I checked out one of his lives recently, and he's got a huge following as well. So his followers definitely come. They shut the chat room down. Blue Streak, thank you for tuning in, watching from She Shed. Oh, shout out to you. It's always good. Also, congratulations on your nomination for Supporter of the Year. We appreciate your support. For all of the family of networks, BS3, End of the Bench, Queen 3 and King, the Forecast, we thank you for all your support on all the networks, all the channels. It does not go unnoticed. See, they say I'll start a little late, man. We'll forgive you this one time. Yeah, we normally are not like that. We're normally not like that. But I'm I have some other business to attend to. I ain't gonna lie. Terrence Howard wig and Kevin Hart's Afro wig is just bad. Hell no. it's let's talk about that. It just gives you Kevin Hart is believable because it looks like Kevin Hart. He had an afro like to some degree at that that length. But the whole thing with Terrence Howard, that is completely not believable. That is just for pure comedy. He probably picked that out just out random, and they were like, "Nah, Terrence, that's not the one we want for you," and he just picked it out anyway. That's what I was thinking. But it fits his character, and it's hilarious. But give me your thoughts on the Terrence Howard and the Kevin Hart.
You know what? See, y'all be killing me. I don't be looking at that.
You had to have seen Terrence Howard.
No. But I'm from the 70s. I got uncles that look like that. I know people that still had that attitude. There's this dude named Fly. Knew this dude named Fly on North Side Chicago. God rest his soul. My cousin Vincent introduced me to him. And this is 98. He drove a royal blue Eldorado with the donut white walls. He used to look like Sheep from Superfly. So I know cats like that. So I was just like, yeah, I remember cats used to look like that's all I thought. So y'all a little younger than me. So y'all ain't used to seeing a bunch of dudes looking like Cat Williams out here, man.
Yeah, man. I called it the Jane Fonda. Man, he had a Jane Fonda type wig on.
That was a thing. I've seen people look just like that. So it was like, okay.
No, I think the history of Terrence Howard and the different movies he's been in, we've never seen him like wearing something like that. He did something like Hustle and Flow. He had a perm, I think, in that one.
Yeah, perm.
But this one was just it was different, man. It was different.
Yeah, I feel you, but it's just like that wasn't a rare. I've lived in a time in which there was a lot of people that look like that. And I was like, oh, they really going for the 70s look. That's all I thought.
Yeah, you're right though. You're right though. They did go for the 70s look. The music, I know you don't really, but the music in the intro was like a 70s commercial or TV show with the kind of Shaft type of sound to it. So I mean, they definitely brought the 70s. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Over to Claiborne. He said, well written. I definitely, I was immersed into the jam. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I did think, that he looks kind of ridiculous. But when you grow up, I mean, I think I might know somebody with that hairstyle now.
That was definitely not in my era. But I mean, in movies that we've seen, even ones that we reviewed, I mean, they had a pimp. There was a pimp that had a hairstyle like that.
I don't mean no pimp. I mean,
you talking about regular cats had hair like
regular cats running around here with that. Wow. I mean, look, Cat Williams is one of those guys, man.
Yeah,
running around with a perm, man.
Yeah, man. That one definitely got me, but I was hooked when I seen that photo. I was like, okay, Terrence Howard is going to be in rare form. Now he didn't say Maine at all. I didn't hear him say that. That's his tagline. That's just what he normally says in most movies, but he did not say it so far. But it is a long series. The 70s was a different time. I agree with you. I obviously wasn't living during that time, but to HR's point, I'm sure it was just a different era of fashion, hairstyle, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, you see, for decades you've seen 70s parties.
Yeah.
I mean, man,
with the afro and
that was slick, man. I mean,
the bell bottoms and the shoe with the fish in it.
I ain't never seen that. That's something I've never seen. A cat with a live fish in it. No, I see people with platform joints. But I ain't never seen nobody with no fish in that shit.
He said Terrence Howard had that cream corn wig from Black Dynamite.
Straight up, man. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. I mean, it just didn't seem strange to me. I was like, okay, they taking it back to the 70s.
Yeah. See, they said Terrence Howard is known for choosing bag wigs. I remember them dreads they had on Empire. Empire had a lot of bad hairstyles.
I didn't watch Empire.
Yeah, I watched it probably the first season or two.
That was good.
Nia got that sugar-free hairstyle. Yes, that is it. That he did that. That was it right there. He definitely pulled that off of there. All right, so let's give a little backstory on this. It's called Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist. Some of it is true. Some of it, obviously, you know how they do in these types of shows. They stretch it. It's going to be more theatrical. It's going to give you some suspense. It's going to give you some things that are probably true, but not around the same timeline necessarily. So it starts off as Samuel Jackson shooting Kevin Hart, and he's basically making it seem like, you know, you played me, and now you about to have to face these bullets. And so that they kind of start from the end and rewind back. It says 2 weeks before. Chicken Man, which is played by Kevin Hart. I love that name. I mean, we all had a Chicken Man or somebody, you know, in the neighborhood. Me and Dawk know of a guy we used to call Chicken Man because he always had chicken. I mean, he went to our church, but he always had, every time we turn around, do at a drumstick or a wing or something. So we called him Chicken Man.
Chicken Man.
Yeah.
I can eat chicken every day.
Hey man, we used to bring, I mean, I'm sure people did this. We used to bring chicken to the movies, man. Bring that chicken to the movies, and that was in some what was that we did? The High on the Hog, where they used to pack the chicken when they were making road trips because it was easier and it was better to eat. You know, it lasted. But so this is kind of based around the Muhammad Ali fight. So when he came, he was blacklisted from boxing over his objection to the Vietnam War, defeated Jerry Curry at the sold-out Atlanta Municipal Auditorium. So this is when he decided, I'm not going to fight in this war. And he had, I think it was 3 years that he was away. And this was his comeback. And nobody else wanted this fight. And then Atlanta stepped up, and there was the congressman, or I'm not sure what they said it, but I'm not sure what his role was, played by a pretty well-known actor. I'll see if I can look his name up real quick. But he seemed to be the one that was kind of initiating this whole thing to have the fight there, which I respect that. I definitely respect that. And that's even, not only did it help Atlanta became what it was, but I think this was some of the early beginnings of Atlanta becoming the Black Mecca, you know. So again, give me your thoughts on that. And I felt like it was a good center for this first episode.
Yeah. I do remember reading about this, that all 49 of the 48 states, 49 of the 50 states in the United States of America would not allow him to box. And Georgia said, we will. And it just shows you how capitalism is king in the United States of America. If it's an opportunity to make some money, people are going to make the money versus stand up against their virtues. And it's amazing that when you see something of this nature, you notice that United States, you have citizens, black and white, in the United States of America, anti-Muhammad Ali. But how is it that you guys can unite to hate one individual because of his objection of a war that most of you guys were against? It's the irony in that.
Right.
Most of the people in the country are against the Vietnam conflict. Most of the people in the country at that point were segregated. You know, it was a black and white thing. It was an up and down thing. You know, it was, and yet you unite in what has been the blood of America for such a long time on hating a situation. But when it's time to make some money, I ain't gonna hate you until I get that money in my pocket. So it was classic America.
Yeah. Go after the dollars. I mean, forget the so-called values that I have. If it's down to the dollar, I'm gonna take that dollar and throw the values out the window. Keisha Walker, thank you for tuning in. She said, good evening. Congratulations on your Supporter of the Year award. We appreciate your support. Overton Claiborne as well. He was a nominee, Supporter of the Year. Appreciate you. He said, classic. Yeah, it is. classic America. It is from the beginning of time. It's all about how much money and how much of the dollar can we consume. So let's talk about the guy that's playing Muhammad Ali. I feel like we do this every single movie Muhammad Ali is in. He's not a easy person he's not, first of all, he's not living. So it's not like you can walk around with him. I mean, obviously you can watch film, you can watch tape, you can do different things, but he is so hard of a person to portray on film that I don't think anyone has gotten it. I think Will Smith is maybe the closest to get it there. But if you're doing some of these shows, I don't think you got the right guy. I think he had some of the cadence. I mean, some of the appearance, some of the mannerisms. But when he came to Morehouse, I was honestly laughing because I'm like, this is not necessarily what I envisioned. The character to be. But again, it's hard. So give me your thoughts on. And that's Dexter Darden is the one that's playing Ali. He's a really good actor. I'm gonna definitely give him his props. He's a really good
I
actor.
actually believe Dexter did a great job. I mean, I was satisfied with Dexter's job in doing Muhammad Ali. The cadence, in a lot of cases, the cadence will take you over the top. Denzel Washington. I remember. I'm old enough to remember when they recruited Denzel Washington to be Malcolm X. I remember me and my homeboy Tran and Big Illinois and all us sitting around going, "You should have got Fishburne. You should be a Fishburne, because it's more aesthetic with Fishburne.
Yeah.
You light skinned black man with a beard. You know,
Right.
Fishburne had a goatee at the time. He was slim at the time. He was clearly the choice, and we were like, "Oh, that was just Spike Lee, homie." But when the movie started,
Yeah.
and you got into it, you said, "Oh yeah,
Wow.
correct
He
pick."
shut
I
it down.
thought dudes sound like Muhammad Ali. I was doing some things that worked during that more. I didn't even actually see the Morehouse scene. I heard it. I was
Oh,
doing
okay.
some things at work, and I couldn't watch it, and I was really thinking, oh, he sounds a lot like Muhammad Ali. He had the motion, even the scene at the lake when he had to check him, and then
Yeah.
I thought this dude. I thought this dude, and of course, I think Will Smith has done it the best. But again, I think it's more of a look with Will Smith. Will Smith didn't look like Muhammad Ali, but they were both bright guys, light guys. They both
Yeah.
were big, tall guys. Will threw on the weight, so he got more of a Ali look. But this dude, I thought he did a great job at it. I mean, the cadence was dope. He stood tall on a few things. He checked Hudson, and he did what I don't know if it's true. This is just the perception we have of the great Muhammad Ali. He did what we expected Muhammad Ali to do, which you a black man, so I'm not gonna disrespect you, but I'm gonna let you know
Hmm.
I'm gonna put you in your place, but because you're a brother, I'm gonna give you grace. So
Right.
I really appreciated his adaptation of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
I walked away thinking I would like to see. Actually, I walked away thinking I would like to see him do it.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, there was some scenes where he definitely had to check Don Cheadle's character, which man he doesn't get enough props
I'm
as
laughing at what Don said. Pastor Don.
yeah. He said he was a bum. I'm not gonna say he's a bum, okay? But I am gonna say again, it's a very hard character. I think he had some of the mannerisms and the movements. There was some moments to me where he did have that cadence down. I think that first initial scene when he was walking on the Morehouse campus, to me it sounded more like someone joking as Muhammad Ali than me thinking that was Muhammad Ali. But I think he's going to get better throughout the series because you brought up a good point. There was different moments where he did that. It's Hollywood. You can't get all the way right. I agree with you on that. That's a good point. You're welcome, Keisha. You did a cool job. Don Cheadle, let's go back to him. He does not get enough, I don't think, praise or respect for the variety of characters he's done. He's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, doing Hotel Rwanda, doing so many different varieties of films. He should be more up there, should be talked about more. But I think he did a great job in this one, episode one. We still got a long way to go. But how many people were, and he was one of those. Somebody was saying, he was the first black man on the force, and I think that was the congressman saying that. It was like, yeah, I want you to walk around with Muhammad Ali, but you really didn't want to do it because he was more so trying to catch someone else that was he was trying to. Which I was trying to determine, was that Kevin Hart he was trying to catch, or was this a whole completely different case?
He was trying to catch an entirely different criminal. He wanted to be after actual criminals. He didn't see Kevin Hart as a threat. He saw him as a worthless thug. He was like, you're a fly. I'm looking for the big fish. Right. And he was trying to be a police officer. It showed. It had on this series. It's the dictionary definition of over the last 4 years why I've said I don't want to see any more biopics. I want to see bioseries.
Right.
This encapsulated America like this is one of the best adaptations of America that I've ever seen in my life. You got the black man who's just a black man looking to take care of himself, and I am taking his position seriously. So I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. You had a black community looking at him like you're one of them now. You're no longer one of us because he took his position seriously. We've heard one of our co-hosts, Dawk, mention that they called him when he was trying to move up at work. They started giving him negative adjectives, speaking to him in a derogatory way because he was trying to be the best he could be at his job because he was raised properly. And when you raise properly, you put your best foot forward. Right. And then the like I was saying earlier, the Vietnam War, the dichotomy of all the black troops getting sent to the front, and we boycotting it. They never mention it, but the Black Panther Party self-defense. This is post the murder of Dr. King. This is in Dr. King's hometown. There's so much going on in this series that it's a beautiful situation. And I really and truly enjoyed every second of it because I was like, it was just so much going on in my mind. And then whoever is the costume person, whoever is the set director, they did a wonderful job. And I also, and I'm talking too much, I also like
it's just the two of us.
How they inculcated everything in America into this film.
Yeah.
What people who don't know, Samuel Jackson played Leroy Nicky Bonds. That's Leroy Nicky Bonds, man. And it's just, it is a reminder. It inspired me for my program tomorrow. It is a reminder of why I go so hard on my Tuesday program, because this is what me and Samuel Jackson's character is on the same page.
Yeah.
I'll shut up because I've been talking.
You good. He said, I love how they kept to the time period. Yeah. There wasn't any slip ups at all, even from the house. I mean, down to the house, to the cars, to the look, to what was in the background. Yeah, they did one hell of a job. And I think the senator or the governor is played by Ron Rico Lee. We've seen him in a variety of different things. He was in Sister back in the day. He's been in a ton of things. Anything he's in, that guy definitely does a phenomenal job. So yeah. And I think they really were focused on that era. They did a great job with it. And one of the directors is Will Packer. I believe his name is Will Packer.
Okay, that explains it.
Yeah, who did the BET Awards or was it the Grammys at one point in time?
Will Packer is one of the most powerful black men in Hollywood. He puts Will Packer, if I'm not mistaken, one of the most popular movies in the last few years that was black created is the Girls Trip with Queen Latifah and those ladies. That's Will Packer. That Steve Harvey movie that everybody liked. Think Like a Man. That's Will Packer. Every time I hear Will Packer and watch the program, it's dope. So that explains why this was such a quality event.
Yeah. And so you got Craig Brewer. He did Empire, Dolomite Is My Name. And then you got Tiffany Brown. You got Kevin Hart, Will Packer. It's a ton of executive producers. Yeah, Taraji P. Henson. I mean, it is when I seen all of the people in this, I immediately thought like this may be the series of the year, because there's no way you can put all these people together and this not be quality. And I think they did a great job. Star said it. I agree with you. Oh, see, he did the Oscar slap show. Yeah, which
Yeah,
that
he
I
did
mean,
that as well.
I hate that has to have that we have to say it like that. I hate that has to be that one,
Oh,
but I mean, it is what it is. It did
he
happen.
slapped me. I don't mind. I mean, but you know, it didn't take anything away from the program. You know, we don't talk about it. Like, I mean, Will Packer did it, but at the end of the day, man, Will Packer, one of the best people in Hollywood at what he does. Every
Yeah,
time I see him, as I just stated, it's a quality affair. And now that you said Will, put like this, I was teetering. Kevin Hart, man, I see that little dude. And if they'd have said Will Packer, I'd have said, I'm in.
oh, you in there? Yeah, and to me, True Story kind of solidified me at least being open to what Kevin Hart's in. Okay,
Mhm.
now if it's him, Tiffany Haddish, if it's him and Ice Cube doing whatever, I think Ride Along,
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna do it. But if it's one of those where you have this level of actors in it, or him doing the one he did with
Wesley.
Wesley Snipes, yeah, that's one of those where you got to give it a shot. He said he is a great producer. His Heart Media, I mean, has done a ton of different things. I think a lot of things we don't even know.
Mhm.
Some of the stuff he's acted in, some of the stuff he hasn't. So I mean, he's becoming less of a actor, more of a producer, more of a I'm going to help put my money towards something that'll bring it to film. Because I think he was working on a Uptown Saturday Night type remix, but I don't know if that's the last time I looked it up. I don't know if that's still going or they're still going to try to do that or what. But this had man, a great feel to it. I held it off. I didn't actually watch the first episode till today. Busy and just held it off. But I'm gonna enjoy every one of these episodes.
Yeah,
So
I started watching yesterday, and I'm up to. I unlike y'all usually. I kept going. I'm like episode 5. I was like, get
yeah,
that. It's good. So yeah,
yeah.
man,
So
big up to Will Packer,
it's 3 episodes out right now, right? Or that they
man.
released
It's 4. I'm on
4.
episode
Okay, they already
4.
dropped the 4th one. Okay. So Kevin Hart is kind of the hustle man, not hustle man like Martin, but the hustle man, the guy that's connecting people together, and he's trying to get in front of Samuel L. Jackson's character, which is kind of the big man on the scene, the one that's gonna be able to help propel his opportunity. So he's basically gonna try to throw a party. Excuse me, where he is throwing a party is basically what he's doing the night of the Ali fight, and it's gonna be gambling. It's gonna be women there. It's going to be food. I mean, it's going to be the party of the year, the party of the night, the place to be. So all of these people are coming from different places, and that's kind of the gist of the episode 1, and it ends basically with him at the fight, and then he's calling his wife, letting her know, hey, I love you, man. I think this is the big one. And then we'll get to the end of episode 1 here in a minute, because that's obviously they did a great job with a cliffhanger to kind of introduce you into what's going to be the next episode. But it's great seeing Atlanta. Both of us going to college in Atlanta. It's great seeing that. And his story, Samuel Jackson talking about the red dirt. Man, I felt like that was a powerful moment. And I think when you see a lot of these characters, a lot of these guys that were kingpins, or a lot of these guys, they weren't horrible people. Did they do some things obviously that contributed to some of the things in our community? Yes, but they had families. They were they felt highly about their people. So it's a double-edged sword, because you're empowering people, but you're also poisoning people. So there's some of both. But
Mhm.
him talking about the red dirt, talk about that and what he said.
Him talking about the red dirt really touched me, because something me and you never even talked about, and I rarely talked about it with anybody. As a matter of fact, uh, one thing I think Georgia's a special place in the United States of America. That's why this kind of touched me, because from the very first time I set foot in the state of Georgia to the very last time I was there, I always feel very different. I feel enriched when I go to Georgia. You know, Atlanta being the place, but it's just different down there, man. I mean, it's being overrun. And when he started talking about that red dirt and the red and the blood in the dirt and things of that nature, and how he wanted to be the next Mansa Musa, I totally agree with what you said. You made the statement that this is the Mecca. It is the hub of Black America, and man, this is powerful, because you got a dude who is a quote unquote gangster, and we're looking at these people with and through the scope of, you're doing debauchery, you shouldn't be here. But what we need to do is peel back. Shout out to Jungle Brother, peel back the onion, because that's his favorite saying. It's time to peel back the onion. Let's peel back the onion on criminality in America. You know, the first thing you hear, the Jews are running things, but the Jews started off as gangsters too. They started off as gangsters because they were getting picked on. And they say, we're going to create this criminal underworld. And you got Sam Rothstein, you got Maya Lansky. These guys were gangsters. And from what I understand, I wasn't there clearly, that they take your head off if necessary. Yeah. And then you got the Irish mobsters, you got the Italian mobsters, who are the most famous. And then you have the Black mafia that they spoke about. What people in our community need to realize is this. And most of us being spiritual people, crime and debauchery is a part of the fabric of the world. You're gonna have criminality, you're gonna have murder, mayhem, and things of that nature. It's not going anywhere. But what we can do is do what every other culture in the country has done. Use that criminology, put it into the soil, and let it grow up other things. You have numbers runners, who's Kevin Hart, Chicken Man. Those some of the dudes who used to bankroll our great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Hossa Williams and other people. Their movements were bankrolled by these people. Do we want our money to come from sex, murder, and mayhem? No. But you know what? Sometimes, like Maya Lansky, died one of the richest men in America, and he started his fortune from crime. Yeah. Joe Kennedy, one of the more powerful men in America, he started his fortune from crime. So instead of waving our finger, what we need to do, stop just saying scripture in the Bible and start reading scripture in the Bible. Love the person, not the sin. Because if we can get behind some of these people, if there is a person in the criminal world, like the character Samuel Jackson played, maybe if we got behind him, he would move like Joe Kennedy, like Maya Lansky, like other criminals. They'll move out of the negative and move all their business in the positive, much like a fictitious character, Michael Corleone, wanted to divest from criminality and want to go into the oil business, the olive oil business, things like that. Maybe if we start embracing some of these people, and again, I'm not saying go get the most bloody, murderous person in our community. And, hey man, you can kill 50 people, you can sold 50 pounds of cocaine. You are a guy. But some of these men are good men. We get behind them, they divest from criminality, and then we put ourselves in a situation so we can rise. And then at that point, as they say, all boats, a high tide lift all boats kind of situation. So yeah, I appreciated that.
Yeah. And I got two quick examples to your point of people that take what they did, but I was flipping into something positive. There's a guy called he has a food truck, and a food truck is kind of demeaning because the dude's food is amazing, but it's called Dope Boy to Hope Boy. You see, he's here in Dallas. He makes vegan food that tastes so amazing. It would make you want to become a vegan, because you wouldn't even realize that that's what it was. The other one is Wall Street Trapper. I mean, everybody, people probably see him on social media. He's got a backstory, and he's now helping people make money through the stock market that for me growing up, I didn't really understand it. And there wasn't really a lot of people that said, hey, this is what it is. So for both of them to do things and change their change their environment, change what they used to do into something different, which is what we do best, man. Just flipping things into something positive. Those are two prime examples, and it can happen, and it's a two-way street. I think I think the person and obviously the environment sometimes has to change.
Yeah, man, because one of the things, see, this is the beauty in my mother, and this is coming up on the anniversary of her transition. Me and her took this class together. The class was things you don't know, you don't know. And that's exactly what you're talking about. Wall Street Trial. This goes back to the Malcolm X book. Malcolm X says West Indian Archie could have been a neurosurgeon or astronaut had he had the opportunities. Maybe the Leroy Nicky Barnes, maybe the big cat, the fat cat in New York, Kenneth Supreme McGriff, Felix the Cat out there in Oakland, where you from.
Yeah.
If they would have been afforded the opportunities, maybe they wouldn't have been those guys. But we live in this debaucherous world in which, because what you look like and who you lay with and who you pray to, you are ostracized.
Yeah.
You in your mind, because it's always the decision. Don't get me wrong. It's always the decision to be made. You can go get your McDonald's. You can work 2 McDonald's jobs still selling dope, but that sounds good until you want to come home smell like a Big Mac every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Coming home with the lights off.
Yeah, come home with the lights on. But if we stop judging people, again, this is what me, and this is why I'm glad my pastor's my friend as well. Because we sat around at church yesterday for about an hour and a half and we talked about things like that. Maybe instead of just looking at the Bible as this punishment, this consistent punishment by God, maybe the Bible is a warning. And this is why I always tell people, when you listen to true hip-hop music inculcates everything into the music. You remember that song by the dude Killer Priest? Ironically, his name is Killer Priest, but he made a song about the Bible, and he made it an acronym, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Maybe it's not God wagging his finger at you. Maybe it's God saying, "You see how they blew it? Don't blow it."
Right.
And this is why, you talk about it. And he, being a criminal, he immersed himself with the history of our people. What, my granddaddy's blood is in that mud, that make it my mud. That's my blood. Let's take it back and rule again. But people will look at them and just wave their fingers and dismiss and judge, versus understanding everybody don't have your path. Everybody don't have Dolores and that as their mother. I was blessed to have that, so.
Right. True.
We just judge.
Yeah. I agree. Raider Kev in the building. Thank you for tuning in. He said, "What's up, fam?" Freeway Rick Ross. Yeah, that's another example. I mean, name any well-known rapper for the most part. I mean, they've had a past, but when they change, and now they're using what they make to benefit the community. I mean, we talking about health. I mean, there was a series, I think it's called What the Health or something. Was that the one? Jermaine Dupri was in it. Common was in it.
No, they weren't in What the Health. But
okay, this was a different one, but The Game was in it. A rapper here in Houston, he was in it. I mean, just showing that, I used to eat trash. I used to eat stuff that wasn't healthy, but now I'm encouraging my community to eat healthier, to be healthier. I mean, so anybody can change. I mean, the Bible has plenty of stories of people that were one way and they became another way, and they impacted their community. So, man, this series, I mean, for just to be episode 1, I'm looking forward to every single episode. I think it's definitely going to show. Again, our people in a different way. It's also going to show some different characters, and I think the impact that we can have. So Chicken Man ends up getting kidnapped at one point of it, and he ends up coming up on this guy. His territory was like Florida, and they're all kind of connected. This is like if anybody listen to Biggie, The Commission, if anybody's seen any mob movie, it's kind of that where they have their own kind of territory, and so he ends up getting kidnapped, ends up realizing like, all right, I need to find my way to get out of this situation because I'm gonna have to get this guy half the money, and he ends up helping out Moten. I think that's Samuel Jackson's character, and so that just goes to, and Kevin Hart does seem like that type of guy. I believe he could probably talk his way out of any situation. I just think the guy has a mouth. He can talk fast. I think he could talk his way out of any situation. So I think that was perfectly picked for him to play that character. And so Samuel Jackson is deemed the Black Godfather in this, but I thought his last name was Moten. But I think it's perfect for him to play that particular character, just in the amount of movies he's been in, and he just sitting back in the back of the car when he was looking at Kevin Hart. It was like, yeah, you already know what it is. If you cross me, that's gonna be you next. So it was good.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I personally believe this is. I'm trying to stay non-political.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, but it shows you how. Look, we don't understand everything. If we get up and go to work every day, being what we deem squares, we don't understand. We choose not to try to understand the inner workings of criminality, and in a lot of cases, we don't need to know. You don't need to know what's going on. It's that old saying: if you knew what it took to make a sausage, you might not eat sausage. You know what I mean? So
hey, that's real.
So we, other communities have and will and continue to thrive off said criminality. And we live up to standards that have been set in front of us, that we're the only people attempting to adhere to those standards. You can't just shop with black stores, because that's reverse discrimination. Meanwhile, every other culture is eating off their community and our community. It's this joke that I've seen on social media. If you this age, I bet you never seen your grandmama cook a taco. And it's not because my grandmother may not enjoy a taco, but she understood. You go down to MacArthur's, that's a place here in Chicago, soul food place. You can go to the Green Store. That's a place that was in my neighborhood. You can go to Jerry's. You can go to Terry's. You can go to Farmer Brown. Those are Black institutions from my childhood that, until I got a job to pay for prom in high school, I rarely ate McDonald's, because me and Big Illinois would go across the street and we would enjoy. Look, put like this. This is how much my neighborhood, and we talking literally, and I'm not exaggerating, it's about 10,000 people in our little housing complex, right? They knew Big Illinois so well. He was like, it was one of the days you get your little paycheck or summer job, so that money burning a hole in your pocket.
Oh yeah.
And that, me in Illinois, we chilling. He said, "Did you get paid today?" I said, "No, it's next week." He said, "I'm gonna buy you something to eat." Cool. He calls Jerry's. It's the fast food joint. He said, I still remember what he said. "Let me get an Italian beef dip with hot peppers, mild sauce on Terry sauce, or Jerry sauce on the fries."
Yeah.
And the lady said, "Okay, Aunt, that's it." He didn't say his name. He said,
they knew him.
And then she said, because she's my man Big T and Joe, that's their mother.
Yeah.
She said, "Okay, Aunt, that's all." He said, and he handed me the phone. I was like, "They know you?" And he's like, "Hey, man."
On the first name, on a nickname basis.
Yeah.
Not even a first name.
Right. It was like, "Aunt." Like, they know your daughter. And but when we step away from those things, that's why our community has been weakened. Because, you see, I literally had a guy, and I'm not going to say his name because he's a good brother, but what he said, I deem a bad thing. He said, I said, "See, I was saying this is what we have to do." And he said, "No," he was trying to say, "I want to eat at a highfalutin restaurant." He said, "But I want to have some good food sometime." I was like, "So Black people don't make good food?"
Yeah.
And he realized how denigrating that was. And it's part of brainwashing. It's part of the trick. And we need to get away from that trick. These standards that have been set in front of us, we need to just wipe them away. Oh man, we don't need affirmative action. Meanwhile, 40% of Harvard is legacy students.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Just about half your population got here because they're white.
Yeah. Because their parents were, yeah.
Right. So, you know, that's why I really appreciate this dude, man. Will and the people who wrote this, Overton Claiborne, that was his name, Overton Claiborne, he mentioned this is well written. It's only a couple things that kind of stood out to me when Taraji said, we need to diversify our portfolio. That's a 90s term.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They wouldn't say that.
No one said that.
You went to the future on that one. Yeah.
But it was
What's up, Big Mo? Big Mo in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it was definitely well written, and for it just to be one episode, man, that just tells you what the future of this is going to be. And so, obviously, they're at the fight. The fight. What would you say?
Trust me, yes.
Yeah. They're at the fight, and kind of at the end of the episode, you know, they're having a good time at the party. They go to the party. Somebody comes in, and then there's two guys at the door with shotguns, and they banging on the door. Everybody get down, put your stuff down.
You skipped the portion.
Oh, go ahead.
You skipped this when Kevin Hart came in and made his pitch and knocked old boy off.
Oh, you talking about the Puerto Rican guy?
Because remember,
right.
You know, you got Kevin Hart is the numbers runner, fast talking, slick talking dude. He a grifter for lack of a better term. I ain't gonna call him a grifter because he wasn't a con man. He was a hustler. I'm gonna call him a hustler.
Yeah. Hustle man.
He was a hustler. So you got and it's business. If I was a brand new podcaster with this wonderful idea, and I knew you had a contract, like let's say your contract with Roku just took off.
Yeah.
I know you, and you got me and rando person over here. Yeah. I'm gonna slide in and use my connection.
Right.
I'm getting in. So he used his connection with the dude who's playing Samuel Jackson's guy, and got the what we call in Chicago. He hit a lick.
Yeah, he got the plug. You told the guy that was originally gonna play in the party. Mm-hmm. That's the guy that was that the guy that was at the door that was about to.
That's the guy who. Okay, you got Kevin Hart's guy. You remember he had the little Walrus looking joints too.
Yeah, you talking about the Slickback. I don't know what that guy. I think his name was Slickback or something like that.
Yeah. Whatever, big green suits and all that. Right. He drove on him and he said, look, man, I'm the guy. You know, he want to do it, but I won't. But and then it also turns out that he immediately went, he said, man, he gave it to this old country Negro.
Right.
And one of his country homies. So again, instead of trying to work it together, we take on I got to do it. We take on the characteristics of our oppressor. If I can't get what I want, I'm gonna take what I want. I'm
gonna cut you out of it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So it was one of those things. So it's in short, it's one of those situations to whereas I am thoroughly impressed. The only thing I've been more impressed with is by this Black woman. She is I would argue she created my all-time favorite television series, and HBO cut it short. It's called Lovecraft Country, and
you've been talking about that for.
That is arguably, but not all Misha Green stuff is. Man, Misha Green is the greatest creator of our time. She is this generation's. She is to writing and creating what Will Packard is to production and directing. She's that's what the kids say. She is her or him or that, whatever they be saying.
Right.
She's all that. I'm gonna go back to my time. She all that in the big bag of chips with
it. Yeah. Man. All right, let me get to some comments. Was planning on watching this week. Let me know if I need to leave for spoilers. We did give some, but definitely watch it.
This is one of those series, Mo, that I could tell you the entire plot, and you can watch it and you won't, and it's not going to
Yeah.
affect you. You be like, oh, that's
because the plot is really just one piece of it. Every person has their well, Kevin Hart's kind of the center character, but
Mhm,
everyone has their piece to it, and
mhm.
everyone kind of has their backstory that I'm assuming they're probably going to kind of get into a little bit. But yeah, definitely watch it, Big Mo. It's definitely worth it.
And then,
Lovecraft Country was dope. Yeah. And
yeah,
I'm sorry to say this, I still have not watched it. I feel like I need to
so like this.
ASAP.
Me and
But yeah.
Kev, me and Ray Kev, who you have on the screen, we have this Randolph and Mortimer Duke kind of thing. We bet each other $1 on stuff, right?
Yeah.
And at this period, like I done been down and he done been down. He down $1 now. And if he lucky, he lucky he take that bet today. But I would extend that same thing to you on the Randolph and Mortimer side.
Yeah.
Bet you $1 that if you start watching Lovecraft Country, there's no way in the world we won't do it the very next week. I'm talking about episode 1. You gonna say, and I'm gonna wait on our, if you watch episode 1 tonight, I'll be waiting in the group chat for you to go. H-Rap was right.
Yeah.
I bet you $1.
Yeah.
And I ain't saying watch the whole series. Oh man, you gotta get no. First episode, you will go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This
Now, how many seasons did it go?
it only went one season because it got too black. Misha Green, I used to have this map. No, seriously, dog. It got Misha Green was about that she creates for Apple TV. So there you go. Apple don't do nothing half-ass. Look, Misha Green season 2 was about to separate the country in colors, and the white portion of the country was called the dark, underdeveloped country. I'm telling you, it was. Hey,
she the way it sounds, she was coming forward on every single episode.
He did this underground on WGN, and it's about runaway enslaved people, and it showed how black women used to use their body to partially control the mind of the enslaved the plantation owners.
Yes.
It showed how people breaking loose. And then there was this one time her daughter and her daughter's potential boyfriend as an enslaved person, they escaped. And she calmed the slave of the plantation owner down with her feminine wiles. And they ran into Harriet Tubman. And this speech is why that show got kicked off TV. If anybody look up Underground, the Harriet Tubman episode, you ain't gotta watch. This was on 2 years before they got to Harriet. If you hear that Harriet Tubman speech, you will go, "Oh yeah, they won't keep this on TV." No,
yeah, no way they're keeping that. Yeah,
no. You be like, "Oh," and I'm telling you, dog, it's. I get, hey, that's that bet right there. You take that bet.
Oh, you said Ben, don't be that joker. The fix is in.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, dog. Hey, Ben, one episode, and right after this series, we'll do Lovecraft Country. I bet you. And you ain't got to watch episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah.
60 minutes, and you're going to go, I need I owe H-Rap $1. I promise you. It's powerful, man.
I believe you. I believe you.
It's a trip down memory lane for Black America.
Yeah. At least 2.
At least 2. Hey,
at least 2 episodes.
I give them one. The diner scene. It's the diner scene within the first 20 minutes of the joint. And when they explain to you why the White House is white.
Wow. You saying in the first 20 minutes they doing that?
20 minutes. Because at first they get into the sci-fi madness. You like, what is this? And then once they get past that little 6-minute clip, you go, okay. And then it take a hard right and go back of your neck.
All right, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it before next week. So So,
and I
on
guarantee
my list.
I'll just all you have to do is just put in the group text, just put the $. Just go.
All right, man. So let's see. We got that black lady who turned white.
Man, I'm telling you.
What episode was that?
That was around episode like 7 to 8.
So they probably gave it 10 episodes.
Yeah. But I'm telling
one
you,
season.
they only gave it one season.
Yeah.
They only gave it one season, man.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
You, just put the $sign in there or something emoji with $. So you just go, hey, you won. I'm telling you. Ready to care almost lost the bet tonight.
It's about this. It's about the fight night.
Yeah. It's about the fight night, y'all. Y'all lost the bet tonight, but if he took it, he lost the bet. But I'm telling you, that's what I really appreciate. But back to what we were talking about. That's what I really appreciate about this, man. It's Black folks telling a Black story from a Black perspective, not attempting to make it comfortable for everybody else. It's okay if we found out we watch a Puerto Rican movie directed by a Puerto Rican man with a Puerto Rican human, man or woman, because women could. We just talked about Misha Green. Puerto Rican person telling the Puerto Rican story from the Puerto Rican perspective, not incorporating anybody but Puerto Ricans or anybody but Jewish people. What's the new something-heimer that everybody in love with?
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Oppenheimer. It's okay, man. It'll help us understand who we are.
Yeah.
And like you said, sneaking chicken in they even mentioned that. They bought some chicken on the trip on Lovecraft Country.
Oh man.
I'm telling you, man, it's one of the blackest anythings in the history of the world. It's Black. I'm talking about it ain't soul brother Black. It's your grandmama Black.
Grandmama Black. Okay.
It's go get a switch. You finna get a whooping Black. It's one of the blackest. It is. They get this, and then I'm gonna shut up about it. They lynch and put a fan around a white woman's neck and throw her in that lake.
Wow.
In the Emmett Till's lake.
Wow. Yeah, that definitely is too Black. I'm surprised they didn't take it off after that.
Man, bruh, it's Black. It's Malcolm X going Black. I'm telling you, Dr. King and Malcolm X threw a high five in heaven with it. Like, we back.
Man. All right, I'm definitely gonna watch it by next week. All right, so man, episode 1, as we get to final thoughts, episode 1. I felt like it was done very well. I kind of watched / listened to some of it while driving. So some of it I didn't actually see, but hearing all of it and then I watched like the last probably 30 minutes at home. But man, I'm looking forward to this series. I think it's only gonna get better. And yeah, I mean, when you have characters when you have guys like Samuel Jackson as kind of the godfather of it, you got Kevin Hart in it, who's not trying to be funny. He's funny because he's just funny, but he's not trying to be. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And one of those scenes when he's like, "Yeah, you going to the Biltmore?" What he said, the Hilton or something like that. He was like, "We got to make a stop first." And they go inside the house, and then they come back out, and he's wiping the blood off his hand. He's like, "Yeah, now we can go to the hotel." I mean, that was a class. That's the classic scene for the first episode.
What's even doper is he said, "You want me to turn on some music?" He said, "No, I like the quiet." That was a double entendre. Shut up and listen to what's gonna happen to you if you get out of line.
Right.
And
Exactly.
And
then they get back in the car. And then when they looked at each other in the rear view, he was like, "Yeah, you know what it is. Don't cross me. Don't cross me."
I'm telling you, hey, you know Jesus? No, well, you're gonna meet him if you met him.
You're gonna meet him real soon.
Tell him I said hi.
If you slip up.
slip up. Yeah.
But a great ending of the episode with the people at the door. I'm like, man, I may watch the next episode tonight just to see what's gonna happen next, because obviously when you have him calling his wife like, you know what, man, this is the big one. I was like, all right, something about to go wrong, because when you make that phone call in a movie or a TV series, something about to go left. But yeah, final thoughts on episode 1.
Yeah, I can't really give it to you. I mean, it's just an excellent episode. That's all I can really say. The reason I can't say it is because I'm on episode 4. I don't know when episode 1 ended.
Wow.
I don't know when episode 1.
And we may do, I don't know if you down, we may do 2 episodes next week to kind of catch up, because it went by pretty fast too.
But like this, I don't think we can only do 2 next week. I mean, I'm not saying I ain't willing to do it. If we watch this, we're gonna do the end of the series next week. I'm just saying, unless it's like 12, 13 episodes, if this is short lived,
it's 8 episodes, but from what I understand, they released 3. Then they did the 4th one. I'm assuming it was probably last week, so they're probably gonna do the 5th one this week. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, bro, this is good. This is good. This is good TV. This is good old fashioned TV. It's a lot of subliminal messages. It's a lot of speaking directly to us, but it's good old fashioned storytelling, and that's what I truly appreciate about it. And there's so many little Easter eggs in it. Like, you got Samuel Jackson playing a variation of Leroy Nicky Barnes, but he also is playing a variation of West Indian Archie, because he got that knowledge.
Yeah,
and then you got
he breaking it down.
He got Cadillac. Remember, that's one of Cadillac.
Yeah.
Cadillac was one of West Indian Archie guys.
Yeah.
And then he got old boy like Sammy, and then it just, hey man, it's dope, man. It's pretty dope. And I'm glad.
And the fact that it's in Atlanta, I'm assuming it is filmed in Atlanta, from what I understand.
You saw it. All that stuff was Atlanta. That was the West Side.
Because they did the I was actually on Morehouse campus. I remember the building in the background, and even the jokes. The jokes they had as soon as they seen Chicken Man, and Terrence Howard was like, "Yeah, man, I thought you was gonna cluck."
Yeah, for some reason I thought this nigga was gonna cluck. But I mean, that's us. That's
man. That's us,
what.
man.
I don't know you, but I have like you. So to show you I'm rocking with you, I got to like.
I got a joke. I got a
job though. That's like a staple here in Chicago. You can go get a custom made suit. You can have a slick hat and get into a slick car, and out west you would get out, and somebody like, look at Brian, old dirty ass. And this is like, oh, okay,
right. There's that meme where it's like, he eating like a piece of fruit, and it was like, oh, this nigga like fruit, and then people laughing. I mean, so it's like, man, we know how to make people feel comfortable. So episode 2. As Chicken Man hustles to level up with the Black Mafia, local robbers find holes in his plans. So that's what's coming up for the episode 2. We'll see. We may do more than episode 2. So definitely looking forward to it. Detective Hudson also performs his duty as Ali's faithful guard, but privately he is tired of waiting. I think it's saying he's tired of waiting, moving up. But it's 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. 7.2 on IMDb, and then 85% with Google users. So, man, and Rotten Tomatoes is hard, man. They are hard on
Rotten Tomatoes tough. And if they gave it 95, you already know.
They will tell you it is trash real quick.
Hey, if we need to have our own black rating thing, like you got Rotten Tomato, you got Google. We need to have fried chicken or something,
Yeah. we need to have Bloodik or Black Critic or something.
I would love to see something of that nature. And Lee Daniels, if you're watching at work, I wrote out a tease, 2 of them. You be seeing me on Twitter. I know you be on. Boy, @HRAP_B.
Yeah. Hit him up. All right. So yeah, we'll be back next week. What's coming up tomorrow on the End of the Bench?
I forgot the name of it. It was something kind of simple too. Give me 2 seconds, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I had so many notes, I had to take it to year 3. Let me look up. I gotta look at the name.
And while you're doing that, let me give a couple shout outs to people giving us thumbs up and likes. Sonny Cole, he was nominated as well for Supporter of the Year. Man, that dude is getting thumbs up to every single BSC Network show. So thank you. Naomi Israel, thank you for tuning in as well. Damian Adams, thank you for tuning in. And Blue Streak again, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all the support, all the thumbs up, likes. Make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell. Definitely is appreciated. All right.
Okay. Thanks for giving me that grace. Politics as usual. I am going to cover the police brutality situation and how we as a community, even especially as sports fans, I covered it on my sports show, and I'm expound on it this tomorrow, simply because we let mainstream media turn a movement for anti-police violence and anti-discrimination to getting a job for someone. And now in the back of end zones, stop the racism. Knock it off. Don't tell me to stop the racism when you literally stopped that man from chasing his dream because he didn't want the people of his heritage to be exterminated. So
yeah.
I am talking about what we need to do, how we can do it, and what needs to be done to move forward and uplift ourselves and our community and stop believing the propaganda. For that has been my ongoing thing. And I am worried, while I do support the vice president, I am worried now, not the assassination itself, but I'm like, I've never seen white America allow a white man to be humiliated in front of the world, which makes me afraid of what's next. Because at that point, we definitely need to circle the wagons like the Buffalo Bills and get ready for a tremendous fight, because hate groups quintupled. When you hear me, quintupled, and from November 2008 up until today. Dr. Can't think of her name. I can see her face. Can't think of her name. Maybe as I talk, I remember her name. Doctor, whatever her name is, I'll come with it in a second. She has a book that literally says Black success is a clarion call for white hate to attack Black people. This is such an exponential form of Black success that we've never seen. They hate us. They hate Black men. Rich people in power hate Black men because we keep helping these powerful women produce these Black children. But just imagine what you would do if this Black woman, who you hate as well, who you hate even more than you hate the Black man, gets in power. What does that trigger? And we need to be mentally, spiritually, and physically prepared to deal with that. We need to show, and that's what I'm going to talk about. We need to shrink this gap, this age gap, the spirituality gap, and this personal gap. Really put that stuff to bed, or put it on the back burner, because it'll never go to bed. We need to prepare ourselves exponentially to be prepared to fight, because this, in the event that what we hope for, the people who support her, comes to fruition, and it's just too many powerful, rich, and powerful and influential white men that are getting behind her now. And it makes me even more fearful than if a white nationalist gets in office. So
yeah, and it is very interesting times right now. I mean, she would be the first on a couple of fronts. Mm-hmm. And I think, that is not something that people want to see. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody need to have their head on a swivel for sure, because this is, and we in crunch time right now. We 2 months out, so everything we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg. So
yeah, I agree with you there. I truly believe that. I totally agree, and I truly believe that. So what we need to do is make sure we are started. Like Cyrus said, we need to get organized and ready to fight.
Yeah. Redican said, all this conversation is fine, that I missed the breakdown of the soundtrack. You missed that part, man. That breakdown was about 2.5 seconds. But man, the music fit the times. It was good. It was good. They didn't have any they didn't have any music from today's time. It was all from the 70s.
1970. That was 1970.
But I know you heard some of it.
Nah.
You heard it, but you didn't hear it.
I heard. God made it, so I couldn't hear it. I had to hear it, but I didn't listen to it. I'd be so immersed in the story, man. Shout out again. This is my mother. My mother used to read to me and have my sisters Theodora and Phyllis read to me, and then Phyllis got sick of reading to me and taught me how to read.
Yeah, you can read on your own now. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then my mom, shout out to my mom. This is the greatest gift my mother ever gave me. And I have not, I mean, if I get somebody give me $1 billion, this would still be the dopest gift. My mother, I was the only boy in my existence, my mother and my two sisters. And I created an imaginary friend. So my mom had some storybooks created and incorporated my imaginary friend in my storybooks, and that made me want to read more. So shout out to my mom. So that's why I read.
Man. Yeah, I mean, and that's a mom right there, man.
Yeah, my mom is super dope, man. Super duper dope, man. Everybody's mother's dope. But that's the greatest. My mom, I never asked my mother for anything twice in my life. And that is the honest to God truth. It was like, it's tough, but no, or okay.
Yeah, that no was so firm. You didn't come back.
No. Yeah. And then back to it. Hey, Mom, can I have this? No. And this is the 40-year anniversary of my favorite. It wasn't my favorite no at the time, but it's my 40-year anniversary of my favorite no. Now that I'm 54, and it was the year that it's in about a month that happened. Air Jordans came out. They were $99.99 at the time. You had to pay $102 to get your pair of Air Jordans. Right. And everybody else in shoes $49, $39, $49. These $100.
Yeah.
Uncle Richard, her brother, purchased for my cousins, Andre, who used to come over the house every weekend. We used to hang out super tight. He came over in some Air Jordans. I was like, what is it? It was amazing. Like, he got the shoes. So, of course, hey, Mom, can I have some Jordans? Her response is the greatest response I ever heard in my life. She said, when is he going to start wearing some Bryans?
Man, that is 100% a black mama saying it right there. When is he? When he gets start wearing some Bryans?
I was like, just give me $39 so I get these teeth.
Right.
But now it's been my favorite. No, it's crazy. But that's who my mom was, man. She was super dope. God bless her soul. She, and before we go, believe it or not, even though I came with the idea years before, the reason me and you are talking right now is because of my mother. Right before she passed, we talked about something I told her when I was 10, and she told me I should do it, which in essence is the end of the bench. And then it took me some years and years and years and years later to do it, but I launched my very first individual podcast on her birthday, December 13th. Wow. So the reason we on right now is because of my mother.
Wow. Man, it's a beautiful moment, man. And people that are watching, enjoy that time with your parents if you still can, your mother, your father. Cherish those memories. I mean, and live out those things that they instilled in you, like we talked about, earlier. Live out those things that they've encouraged you to do, they've inspired you to do, because it goes a long way. I mean, they would want you to live out with those things that they said. So, but man, thank you everybody for tuning in. Next week, Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist, episode 2.
And Ben
or
will
more.
tell you that he owes me $1.
Right. I probably will. I definitely
I'll
will.
tell you.
I don't think there's a Queen 3 and King tomorrow with Dawk and the crew out. But we're going to leave you tonight with a video by our sponsor, Share Alternatives. Make sure to check that out. 100% natural dental products. They were at the BS3 Network Awards and, did a great job and brought some of the products. So check this out. We'll see you next week. Peace.
It's all pure from Mother Nature. It's all natural. With Share Alternatives, it's all natural. You need a toothpaste that can